Welcome back to Tiny Ninja, the Hidden Lineage. War doesn't only reveal strength, it reveals what remains when the fighting stops. After facing enemies designed to adapt, predict, and evolve, the rebellion has learned something dangerous. The Dominion is no longer chasing them blindly. It is studying them, preparing for them, and building something new. But even in war, there are places untouched by control. Places where the world remembers what it was before it was taken. And in those places, truth begins to surface. The further they moved, the more the city resisted letting them go. Broken towers loomed like hollow skeletons. Behind them, their shadows stretching across cracked streets that slowly gave way to earth. It wasn't immediate. It never is. First came the weeds, then the roots pushing through concrete, then silence. Real silence. Not the hollow kind that lives in abandoned places. Ashara walked beside Tiny Ninja, her boots crunching over gravel that slowly softened beneath her feet. You feel that? She asked quietly. Tiny Ninja nodded. The air. It's different. Ashara inhaled deeply, almost cautiously, like she didn't trust it. I don't remember the last time it didn't smell like metal or ash. Behind them, the rebellion moved slower than usual, not out of fear, but uncertainty. The cyborg commander scanned the terrain, repeatedly, his optics adjusting constantly. I'm losing signal range, he muttered. No Dominion frequencies, no grid, nothing. He looked up. It's like we stepped outside their world. Cairo, walking ahead, didn't turn. You didn't step outside it, he said calmly. You stepped somewhere they never fully conquered. The forest. The trees didn't begin dramatically. They emerged, subtle at first, scattered growth, thin trunks breaking through the land, then thicker, stronger, until eventually the sky itself began to disappear behind a canopy of green. The temperature dropped, sound changed. Every step now carried a softness that the city had long forgotten. Tiny Ninja slowed, not out of caution, out of awareness. This place, he said quietly, it's alive. Cairo nodded once, yes. Ashara frowned slightly. It feels like we're being watched. Cairo gave a faint, almost approving look. You are. She stopped walking. That's not reassuring. Cairo finally turned back to face them. It should be. The first signs. It wasn't a sound that gave it away. It was the absence of one. The forest shifted, just slightly. A branch that should have moved didn't. A shadow that lingered too long. Tiny Ninja stopped walking. The others followed. What is it? Ashara asked. Tiny Ninja didn't answer right away. He crouched slightly, his gaze sweeping across the trees. Then he said quietly, they're not hiding from us. They're watching us decide what we are. Ashara blinked. That's not how predators work. Cairo stepped beside Tiny Ninja. This place, he said, it is. The creatures. The first one stepped out slowly, deliberately. It wasn't monstrous. It wasn't grotesque. It was powerful. Lean muscle, fluid movement, and eyes that held something neither human nor machine. Something aware. Ashara instinctively raised her weapon. Tiny Ninja placed a hand on her arm. Don't. She didn't lower it, but she didn't fire. More shapes emerged. from the left and from the right, and from behind. The rebellion shifted uneasily. The cyborg commander whispered, "We're surrounded." Cairo's voice remained calm, "Yes, but not threatened." The lead creature stepped closer. Its gaze locked onto Tiny Ninja. Not aggressive, not submissive, curious, measuring. Tiny Ninja didn't move, didn't raise his blade, didn't challenge it. He simply stood, present. The creature circled him once, then stopped. And in that moment, something passed between them, unspoken. The creature stepped back, then turned. The others followed, gone as quietly and as quickly as they came. Ashara exhaled slowly. What just happened? Tiny Ninja answered simply. They decided we weren't enemies. Rest. That night, for the first time in a long time, the rebellion rested without fear of immediate attack. No drones, no distant machine movement, no pressure in the air, just firelight, breathing, stillness. Ashara sat across from Tiny Ninja, watching the flames dance. You didn't hesitate, she said. When that thing came close? Tiny Ninja shrugged slightly. It didn't feel like it wanted to hurt us. Ashara tilted her head. You trust instincts like that? Tiny Ninja looked at her. Do you trust yours? Ashara hesitated. Sometimes. Tiny Ninja nodded. Then you know the difference. She studied him for a moment longer. You've changed. Tiny Ninja didn't answer right away. Then quietly. So has the war. Cairo stood just beyond the firelight, watching both of them. Ashara noticed. You've been quiet. Cairo smiled faintly. I'm listening. To what? Cairo's eyes shifted toward Tiny Ninja. To who he's becoming. Tiny Ninja looked up. And? Cairo's tone sharpened slightly. You're still reacting. Tiny Ninja frowned. I thought that's how we survive. Cairo shook his head. That's how you last. A pause. Then. Not how you lead. That landed heavier than anything said before. Later that night, Tiny Ninja walked alone. Not out of restlessness, but because something was pulling him. Not danger, fear, or recognition. He stepped deeper into the forest. The sounds changed again, more distant, more focused. Then a voice. Soft, controlled. You move like you don't belong here. Tiny Ninja stopped, turned, and saw her. Akari. She stood above him, balanced effortlessly on a branch. Small, like him, but different. Where his presence was grounded, hers was fluid, unpredictable. Her red scarf shifted with the air, catching the faint light like a signal. Tiny Ninja studied her carefully and realized that it wasn't red like his, it was a pink scarf. The darkness seemed to have clouded his vision for a moment. Her fluidity wasn't something he was used to, and he said to her, You've been watching us. She tilted her head slightly. And you've been loud enough to find. Tiny Ninja almost smirked. Most people don't call us loud. Akari dropped down lightly. Most people don't notice what matters. She stepped closer, her eyes locked onto his, and her tone changed. You carry it. Tiny Ninja's expression sharpened. The ember? She nodded once. And more than that. Tiny Ninja asked quietly, What do you see? Akari didn't hesitate. Potential. Then unrefined. Tiny Ninja's voice lowered. I thought I was the only one. Akari's gaze shifted slightly. Then you've been alone too long. Tiny Ninja felt that, more than he expected. There are others? Akari looked away briefly. There were. The weight of that word settled heavily between them. Ashara stepped into the clearing. Tiny Ninja! She stopped, seeing Akari. Another one? Her expression shifted instantly from concern to calculation. Cairo followed, and for the first time, his calm cracked. Akari! She looked at him. You're late. Cairo nodded slightly. I had to be sure. Akari gestured toward Tiny Ninja. About him? Cairo answered simply, yes. Ashara stepped forward. Alright, someone needs to explain what's happening. Akari looked her over carefully. You fight beside him? Ashara didn't hesitate. I do. Akari nodded. Then you deserve to know. She turned back to Tiny Ninja. The Dominion isn't just hunting you. It's hunting what you represent. Tiny Ninja asked. The Hidden Lineage? Akari nodded. They don't understand it. Ashara crossed her arms. So they destroy what they don't understand. Cairo added quietly, no. They study it first. Akari's expression darkened, and then they erase it. The forest stood still around them, alive, listening. Tiny Ninja looked between Cairo and Akari. Two pieces of a truth finally beginning to take shape. You said there were others. Akari met his gaze. Not many now. Tiny Ninja asked the question that mattered. Can we find them? Akari didn't answer immediately. Then, if they're still alive. They're hiding better than you were. The war has expanded, but so has the truth. Tiny Ninja is not alone, and the Hidden Lineage is not yet lost. In Season 2 of Tiny Ninja, The Hidden Lineage, the story deepens beyond battle, beyond survival, into legacy, identity, and what it truly means to carry power in a world that fears it. Follow the podcast so you don't miss the next episode. And for character reveals, artwork, and more Tiny Ninja content, subscribe on YouTube at Tiny Ninja Official. The forest remembers, and now, so do they.